Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are going to talk about a topic that most people at one point or another have experienced in their life. And that's holding on to clutter because you might need it someday. We're going to explore where this comes from and how releasing this mindset can actually bring you a stronger sense of freedom and a stronger feeling of security. If you're new to my podcast and my channel, welcome. I'm Flora Sage, certified simplification coach and 7-time author. And for over 27 years, I've been helping women like you align into a life and a business that you are wildly obsessed with by helping you clear out the 9 types of clutter, keeping you from a life that you love. What are those 9 types of clutter? They are mental, spiritual, emotional, digital, financial, daily, body, process, and environmental clutter. My YouTube page is where I share my environmental decluttering tips, and here on the podcast, I share with you how to declutter the rest. Please subscribe or follow this feed so you know every single time an episode is released. So let's get started into this topic. So many people hold on to things just in case they need them someday. This truly is a deeply connected mindset and deeply connected feeling of scarcity, and that scarcity mindset, also known as a poverty mindset. Now, at its core, this is a fear that you might not have enough resources or support in the future so that you can just hold on to things if you need to or you want to, but you actually hold on to it because you feel like you have to, just in case you might need them. But here's the thing, holding on to so many things that you're not really using and you're holding on to it just in case, you're not creating a sense of security. What you're actually holding on to is the feeling of lack and fear that you might not have enough resources in the future to replace this thing if in the off chance you might need or require this in your life. And because you're so afraid that you might need it, that fear is the thing that's driving you to hold on to that thing that you don't actually use. This mindset can actually impact everything from how much physical stuff you have to how much mental and emotional clutter that you carry. Every single time that you look at these items that you're keeping just in case is actually reminding you of your potential future need, which keeps that scarcity thinking alive. And that's kind of scary if you think about it, because you don't really want to be in that lack mentality all the time. Most of the people that work with me, most of the people that are in my sphere, really truly are actively creating that future life that they desire. And so by keeping on to these things, you're actually preventing yourself, you're blocking yourself from moving into that life that you truly are wildly obsessed with. So some examples of how this shows up in your life, and most people can relate to this first one, is clothing. Keeping stuff that no longer fits you, that you're hoping one day will fit you again, so you keep it just in case. Not trusting that when you get into that size again, that you're actually still going to like that piece of clothing. The second one is household items. I want you to think of like extra blankets, extra old electronics or broken electronics that you're keeping just in case you actually get around to fixing them, or like for the blankets and all that other stuff, well, just in case you might need them. I have clients that have kept rooms full of furniture just in case they start liking those pieces of furniture again and they start using them again. Another big piece is sentimental items. Now, we often keep things that represent our past stability, or if you were in a relationship where you felt really secure, or if you were in a time of your life where you felt really secure, you felt really good, it was like the best time of your life. So you hold on to these things so that you can really bring, or hopefully bring, that version of yourself to the forefront and to your current reality. You're holding on to the memory of what once made you feel safe or vibrant or strong or healthy. And what you're doing is you're holding on to the lack that I don't have that now. Because you're in that lack of I don't have that now, I'm holding on to what I had in the past for fear that you can't get that now. And that's that scarcity mindset. It's that lack mindset or that poverty mindset of like, I'm lacking this, and so therefore I need to hold on to this for dear life. Now, on the surface, this might seem pretty practical to hold on to like these backup items just in case. And because, getting rid of these things can feel kind of overwhelming. And at first, this might not seem like it's such a big deal, holding on to clothes that don't fit, holding on to pieces of furniture that you might use, and also holding on to sentimental stuff that reminds you of the best time of your life. But what happens is this really starts to weigh on your mind and your energy, and everything starts to kind of follow suit. And before you know it, you have this giant elephant in the room that is lack and scarcity, and you're wondering why you're not moving forward in your life to create that life that you're truly so happy about. So this combination of environmental clutter and the mental clutter really contribute to that mental load that actually limits your sense of peace, that limits your sense of stability, and ultimately your sense of freedom in how you navigate your life right now. So how does this actually reinforce scarcity mindset? Well, for one, it's a constant reminder of potential loss. When you see all of these things that you're holding on to just in case, you're constantly reminded that you might not have enough in the future. And that keeps you from truly trusting in the future. And another thing is the emotional weight of all of this. When you keep things just in case, these items oftentimes will create a sense of obligation or a sense of guilt. And it's almost like you're holding on to this silent message of, you might regret it if you let me go. So you see this object, this inanimate object that's like screaming at you like, you're going to regret it if you get rid of me, so you better hold on to me, because what if you need me 2 weeks after you get rid of me? And over time, this can create a ton of mental clutter because you're going in these mental loops of what if, and I can't do this because if I do this, if I get rid of this thing, oh my gosh, I'm going to regret it. I'm going to be mad at myself, and then I'm going to have to spend more money getting this thing. And again, this is how that poverty mindset and scarcity mindset loops over and over and over. And it really truly impacts how free you actually feel in your life. Now, by holding on to so much, you actually make less room, both physically and mentally, for the things that really truly fit in your life right now. This is one of the things we've talked about so many times on this podcast, is that we are trying to declutter that messy middle. We're trying to declutter the stuff that's preventing you from aligning into that life that you want. This is where you are. This is where you want to be. This clutter, this messy middle that you're keeping just in case, is preventing you from aligning into that life that you really, truly desire at your deepest core. So instead of giving you security, this clutter actually holds you back, making you feel more restricted and more weighed down than ever before. So knowing this, how can you shift from this scarcity mindset to abundance, or to that feeling of trusting to let go of these things so that you can truly make more space and have more peace in your life? Well, the first thing is trust in possibility and opportunity. Abundance isn't really about having a stockpile of stuff. It's not. It's about trusting that when you truly need something, you're going to have access to it. Now, this applies to money. This applies to time. And it also applies to a belief that the resources are going to show up and flow as you need them. Another one is letting go to free up space. When you let go of items that you're not using or that don't serve a purpose in your life, you actually create more room for what matters to you right now. Imagine walking into a clear, open space in your home, even if it's just your closet, where everything serves a real purpose. Like you walk into this room and you notice everything here I use, I love, I need and is required for my life right now. There's no echoes of what could be or what was. There's no echoes of, oh, I'm keeping that just in case I don't have the resources in the future to replace the scratchy blanket that I don't like anyway. Imagine what that's going to feel like to walk in and just know that everything in this space you purposely and intentionally are keeping because this is what is required of your life right now. Right now. Like, this is one of the most powerful ways to align your environment and to align the life that you want faster than ever before. It really, truly is, because your current life and your future life are the ones that you're creating right now. Your past is already gone. It's already done. So why hold on to those things that are no longer required in your life? So one of the ways that you can start shifting this in your life is just by starting out small. Try getting rid of just a handful of items, of things that you've been holding on to just in case you might need them, and see how that feels. You could try just a couple pairs of pants, maybe one little random gadget from the kitchen that you haven't used in years, and see what that feels like. Notice the freedom that comes with getting rid of one item or two items or 5 items. And each thing that you release, recognize that this is a step forward. This is a step forward in trusting yourself, trusting in the present moment, and also trusting in the future of the what if scenario. Like that if you do need it in the future, there will be resources for you available that you can now get that item back or borrow the item or repurchase it with new funds, with new opportunities, with new possibilities, with new resources that you have in the future. Now, one of the things that I've shared in the past is that often the reason why people need something after they get rid of it is because they remember they have it. They're like, oh, wow, I haven't seen this in 5 years, but I haven't needed it, so I'm going to get rid of it. And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, you need that thing. The reason why that happens is because you're like, oh, wow, this is great. And your brain's like, yes, that's fabulous, but we haven't used it in 5 years. Let me think of a way for you to use it. So then you get rid of it, and because you're thinking, oh, I hope I don't need this, but I'm getting rid of it anyway, all of a sudden in 2 weeks, you're like, damn it, I just got rid of that and now I need it. Your brain manufactured and created a scenario in which that thing is required. Now, that is a belief that you can also work to release and declutter from your mindset, is because, again, if you're always thinking every single time I get rid of something, I need it after I get rid of it, that's a belief that your reticular activating system, we talked about that in another podcast. You can Google it if you don't know what it is. But this is something that your reticular activating system, if you tell it that is your reality, it's going to have that be your reality. Like, oh, so this person believes that every time they get rid of something, they need it within the next month. So therefore, we're going to create a situation that they get rid of something and then they're going to require it or need it in their life in a few weeks to about a month. So if that thought is coming up, you can retrain your reticular activating system to say, no, when I get rid of something, when I declutter something, I will not need it in the future because I haven't needed it in the past 5 years, okay? So I want to share with you a quote from Wayne Dyer, and I love that this it totally encapsulates this shift. And it says, abundance is not something we acquire, it's something we tune into. I love that. So when you let go of fear and you let go of that poverty mindset and the scarcity mindset of thinking, you know what, I might not have the opportunity, the resources, the funds, etc. in the future. When you learn to let go, what you're doing is you're tuning into trust. You're tuning into the frequency of I trust in myself and in the resources surrounding me, that if I need this thing or if I need any of these things in the future, that the available resources are going to really just show up in my life, whether it's a neighbor that I can borrow that thing from, or a gift, or whatever it is. But it's really stepping out of that feeling of lack and into the energy and the feeling of trust. I love this so much. To help you with this shift, I've opened up spots in my calendar for complimentary strategy sessions where I can help you sift through the things that you want to keep in your life and those things that you want to declutter. If you want one of these sessions, click the link in the show notes to book your session now. Let's continue this conversation. If you're watching this on YouTube, share with me in the comments your experiences that you've had with letting go and decluttering things that you've been holding on to just in case, and how it feels for you energetically, emotionally, spiritually. I mean, like all the things. Just share your experiences of how it felt for you to finally be okay with letting things go that you're keeping just in case. If you found today's episode helpful, please subscribe, like, share with your friends, and leave a review. Your support helps this podcast reach more people looking to declutter their lives and align into a life that you are wildly obsessed with. I hope this serves you today, and I will see you in the next episode. Mwah.